Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast with me, Imperial Dane. I have an exciting 2 vs 2 for you on Duclair, a map I haven't so far casted on, I do believe. So let's go over the particulars on the tactical map. In the northern half we have a rather hilly area with the victory point. Numerous sandbags and numerous choke points are more hard to maneuver in area, and also therefore for some players lot less fought over, since many players don't like to fight up here. The more central victory point here provides the usual hotspot of the fighting, as there's much more open terrain, less hills, less things to blockade movement in. And the southern victory point is also part of this larger field here, where most of the fighting will happen, with these buildings here providing cover points for machine guns and forward barracks as usually as well. This point here can usually be seen used by some, in particular the British likes to move in here, but seeing as there is not a match featuring the British, that will have to wait for another time. In the northern half of the map we have shiremct 1st Infantry Division, Able Company and Brooskier Baker Company as well. And in the southern corner, as the Panzer Elite, we have IhateMocha 1057 Panzergrenadier Regiment, Panzer Elite. Certainly going to be interesting to see what he'll do, and he has the Kettenkrad. And above him we have, as the Wehrmacht, Awesomo 5000, some sort of Wehrmacht Wunderwaffen, a computer meant to fight for them. Shall be interesting to see how that goes. And let's get this match started. Wehrmacht quarters going up, Kettenkrad on the move, and dual barracks start for the Allies. A good start, I'd say, allowing them both to retain the initiative and be flexible in the start, and of course allow them to otherwise get whatever they want, like say a weapon support center if they feel the need. Further engineers to support this start, and I suspect they'll try and fan out for the nearby areas, whereas IhateMocha's Kettenkrad is securing the medium munitions point. A fun thing to note about the Kettenkrad is you can notice what doctrine the Panzer Elite players go on by noting what is on the back of it. For example, if it has a lot of repair equipment, that means he's gone tank hunter doctrine, and if you see explosives, that means he's gone for scorched earth, for example. Now then, Panzergrenadiers on the field, but moving backwards along with another one. Probably going to build something then, yes, a Logistikkompanie. And Volksgrenadiers out for the Wehrmacht Commander Awesomo. Jeeps out for shiremct. And for Brooskier we have riflemen, so a flexible start with some infantry, but also speed and reconnaissance, allowing shiremct to provide Brooskier with some idea of what's going on in the battlefield. And as you may notice, so far IhateMocha isn't exactly having a huge presence on the field due to his logistic company build, and his Kettenkrad hasn't really been able to connect territory. But now the 2 Panzergrenadier teams are on the field, one getting the Gewehr 43 upgrade, increasing firepower, although with the next patch there will be some improvements, so they fire a bit faster, as there has been some troubles with Panzergrenadiers early on, lacking a bit of firepower at times. Taking on the Jeep, which is taking heavy fire and now retreating as it should. A small standoff in the north as the Volksgrenadiers skulk around behind the hedge, not really ready to take on riflemen in solid heavy cover. Panzergrenadiers moving in, probably to push away those engineers who are now under heavy fire from the well-trained Panzergrenadiers. Although they have not continued their movements, and looks like shiremct is gathering up a small force to push forwards with. While it looks like he's moving in to try and do something here with his Panzergrenadier team squad. In fact, 2 teams does compose a squad, and we see them taking out the engineers, who are now forced to retreat, and once more shiremct goes for the central munitions point, and we see a scout car out. This is something some Panzer Elite players do, use these scout cars as a sort of armored car They do possess some health points and the machine gun is alright, but you should be careful as relying on it too much like an armored car, as they can be quickly damaged if you're not careful. Jeep once more suffering heavy fire now from the armored car as well. So far no engine damage though, so it's probably going to get away. Riflemen catching the Panzergrenadiers out in the open. Armored car, or scout car, moving in to flank them, hitting them from where the hay does not provide cover, but forced retreat as a second rifleman team is moving in. Volksgrenadiers in the south could really use to support the Panzergrenadiers in the north, who are now getting ganged up on from all sides and are forced to retreat before it's too late. Oh no, looks like a Panzergrenadier team annihilated. A second armored car on the field a bit too late. And finally Awesomo's Volksgrenadiers are moving in to support Obeyed a bit too late. Jeep going to be knocked out, it seems. Engine damage, and yes, blown up. Crewmen smashed to all sides, and a burning wreckage left in the middle of the battle. Riflemen seeking cover in the hedges, chasing after the pioneers while the Volksgrenadiers stand on firing shots at their rear. Armored Kettenkrad moving back, and we see that the two scout cars are moving to the north to support Awesomo's efforts that seem a bit bogged down since he's gone for two heavy machine guns that, while can secure territory and hold it, can't really make a push. And of course, one thing to note, scout cars can secure territory, plus with an upgrade, the logistic upgrade, they can also secure it and act as observation points, increasing the resource gain. The Americans are advancing here. It looks like Shiremect has gone for the infantry company since he's laying down mines, and has gone for BARs as well, and set up a forward medic station right behind the hedges, meaning that any attempts will have to be going around the hedges and right into the mine, thus giving some protection as well. And we see a bunker going up from Awesomo, so there's a high likelihood that he will go for the defensive doctrine, I wager. Third scout car, and only one Panzergrenadier team, but he has gone for the Panzerjäger command, so we'll see scout cars, armored cars as well. Some fighting as well, scout car taking damage from the riflemen, as they do easily take damage along with this armored car, trying to prevent the riflemen from seeking cover in the building, although not much luck, and the riflemen secure free passage into it, forcing the scout car to retreat. Americans meeting no resistance in the south, as the Germans seem to be securing themselves on the hill. In fact, certainly not a bad choice. It is easily to defend themselves with machine guns, but they shouldn't forget to move infantry in and hold up the Americans, who are now gathering up in large forces, threatening to push through from the south and in fact hold most of the territory. Armored car on the way, opening heavy fire on the American infantry. Let's see what's up in the American base. A motor pool and a armored car on the way. And we see a supply depot going up for Shiremect as well. Heavy fighting as Panzergrenadiers and pioneers are forced back. Armored car moving in, killing numerous engineers, slaughtering them with its 20mm auto cannon. Medics moving in, but suffering heavy fire from the armored car. Numerous scout cars moving up, it seems, securing this strategic point. Perhaps not the wisest decision, although it does provide some increase in strategic points, although not a lot, and certainly not enough to use it like that.
Our supply lines are being threatened.
Scout car seizing territory, armored car opening fire on the riflemen who are caught out in the open and will suffer heavily from that. Seems like Awesomo's offensive has ground down, now relying mostly on his support units. 3 HMG teams, that's certainly a lot, and is going to leave IhateMocha to in fact do most of the fighting, which is not something I'd recommend, since it would basically allow the Americans to focus on either, and most likely they will try to go out for then IhateMocha, since he'll be the one, since, well, Awesomo won't be able to respond, and in fact a single armored car forcing him back, but a Krieg barracks is going up and one is noting that they in fact have absolutely no anti-tank assets. A really bad move, and something you certainly should expect in 2 versus 2 matches. This one is almost definitely always going to go for armor. And now they'll have to give up the central hill as well, or northern hill in fact. Thus leaving the 2 Axis commanders with very little to their name. Riflemen suffering heavy losses, although still holding the majority, and the armored car is providing some heavy firepower. Now the M8 is moving in. A huge threat to the Panzer lead armored car, as the autocannon won't do as much damage, but now speeding out their engine overload, I believe it's called. Machine gun teams moving in once more, and apparently not heeding the threat of the armored car, causing some damage on the riflemen who are trying to move in from all sides. MG42 team there should either deploy or pull back before it's caught out in the open, and it really is not a good move, this. No. Caught out in the open versus a team in green cover, which means it won't suffer heavy damage or be suppressed a lot by the machine gun team. Slight move from the center once more, but forced back once more as they encounter flamethrowers and further riflemen. Things are not looking up for the Axis commanders. In particular, the Panzer lead commander has very little infantry, and of course goes for the armored car rush, which is again not something I'd recommend. Let's have a look at IhateMocha and see what he's doing. Not a lot, it seems. Armor coming in and ambushing his forces. Going for a martyr, which is certainly going to help, but there's a high likelihood of being outmaneuvered by the M8 armored car unless it can engage under the right circumstances. And Awesomo, who hasn't gone for doctrine either, it seems, but has a pack on the field finally, and oh dear, moving out with only machine guns and pioneers. This is not really a good move, and only one team of foot grenadiers to carry the fight is going to end badly, I suspect. Let's return to Brooskier then for some slightly better news, and he's gone airborne off